Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coin is Extra TV interview series. So we're looking at stakeholders insight. Joining us today is Dr. Stanley Jacob, President Fintech Association of Nigeria, and he is also the Group Chief Innovation and Technology Officer, Meristem. So thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful opportunity to have this conversation with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So maybe you can just tell us briefly about yourself before we proceed with the conversations.
So my name is Dr. Stanley Jacob. I am currently the president of the Fintech Association of Nigeria, spanning over 640 member institutions. Also the vice president for Western Africa on the Africa Fintech Network. And that's covering the Western Africa. Africa Fintech Network has over currently 48 countries across Africa. I'm also the Group Chief Innovation and Technology Officer for Meristem Securities Group. So that's basically it.
Thank you very much, sir. Once again, congratulations on your appointment at Meristem.
Thank you.
So I know during the course of this conversation, we'll also visit your mission and vision what you tend to achieve. But let's look at Nigeria's fintech story. Nigeria is one of the leading fintech markets in Africa. From your perspective, what do you think is the major driver of growth, and what opportunities and challenges do you see ahead of in the industry?
So very correct. We're doing quite a lot when it comes to fintech in Africa. We're also leading when it comes to investments, fintech investments. And I think it speaks more to our dynamics, our demography, and our business landscape. So first, when you look at it, we have the largest population. And the population generally, over 200 million, 50% adult population, signifies a very huge opportunity when it comes to the delivery of financial services. You dispense financial services to people, so population is a factor. Also, we've been very good with technology, and we've seen fintechs move from a small 3-bedroom flat in Lagos and become a unicorn in Africa. And this shows our commitment, energy, dexterity, and the can-do that you see from a typical young Nigerian who wants to create something. We also have very large untapped use cases, which has attracted investment over the years. And we've also seen that both whether you're the bank, whether you're the fintech, we're all geared towards trying to drive inclusive finance across all the nooks and corners of the country.
Okay, so the next one is looking at your position from the Fintech Association of Nigeria. You are the president. What are your top priorities to strengthen the fintech ecosystem and supporting innovation in Africa, in Nigeria as well, in the next few years?
So our plans have not changed. All right. About 2 years ago, in 2024, when we took over office, part of what we rolled out was the PI agenda. That agenda is currently in full swing, full execution, if you like to call it that. And it speaks to participation, innovation, and expansion. And in all ramifications, and when you look at that acronym, we've unpacked it and we've dealt with it one by one. Primarily, we are collaborating with the regulators. We are collaborating with the government. And when I mean regulators, across board, whether it's banking, whether it's the capital market, whether it's insurance, whether it's the pensions. We are collaborating with regulators across financial services, technology, whether it's Nigerian Communication Commissions or NIDA, and even the federal government, So we're doing quite a lot, more than we have ever done before. We're also having a lot more inclusive participation. So whether you are a unicorn or you are a startup, there is a space for you. And that was why we created the communities of practice that allows member-led initiatives where our members can drive initiatives across the industry, whether you're speaking to innovation and technology, regulatory and policy, cyber security, advocacy, inclusion. 5 of these communities of practices are purely member-led, and we have more people participating more than ever. And by the grace of God, we'll have an opportunity to showcase our results next year when we celebrate Fintech NGR at 10.
That's very nice. Congratulations in advance on that, sir.
Thank you.
So let's look at AI, artificial intelligence. The rate of adoption of AI in Nigeria is very rapid. So what are some of the opportunities you see how businesses or startups, fintechs can integrate AI? And also be part of this question is these conversations around workforce, how AI is disrupting the workforce. What's your take on that, sir?
So I think we've seen AI move from one phase of application and adoption to another higher phase, and it continues to go up. So we've moved from whether AI is necessary to confirming that it's necessary. We've moved from whether AI is here to stay to confirming that it is here to stay. And we've now seen from AI being used for mere research engines to give us data, we've seen AI puts data and document together. We're now seeing AI run reasoning logics for us and helping us put together analytics. We've seen AI play pivotal roles in the area of health, education, agriculture, any aspects you're looking at. So it's here to stay. And part of what we are trying to do now is to catch up with it in terms of how we drive the governance, the regulation, protect data, and protect the users and beneficiaries of AI. So we are very glad about what AI is doing across all aspects of lifestyle, because Fintech NGR is an ecosystem body and doesn't just speak to fintechs alone. But when you narrow it down to financial services, you can see what it has done for us, So there's quite a lot you can see. We now have more personalized services. We've seen what has happened to lending. You can now lend even from an institution where you don't even have an account, which is something that would never have happened before. We can check your other things, your airtime top up, your electricity payment, and use that to arrive at how much you are eligible to have in a loan and give you the loan. So we've seen that benefit the bottom of the pyramid. Some of them don't know that it is AI that is enabling the service, but they're already enjoying the service. So it's only going to get better. We're seeing agentic AI now, AI now trying to serve like humans, both not just in the intelligence part of it, but even in the embodiment, the physical embodiment, which is a welcome development. And when you talk about how it impacts people, there's also been that debate about AI replacing people. The truth is AI is going to replace people. So if your job speaks to a repetitive task, if your job involves something that can easily be done, does not involve emotion, does not involve discretion, AI is going to take it from you. But it's not going to take your life. So because you're still going to have your life, it is very important that you repurpose it and use it for something else. And what does that mean? We now need to move into 2 things: new set of skill sets. And one of those very interesting skill sets is moving into roles and capabilities where humans are needed, where emotion is needed, where relationship management needs to happen to be able to support consumers as a business person. The second is learning more on the use of AI. Like I always say, the competition is not going to be between AI and humans. It's going to be between those who can use AI versus those who cannot use it. Those who can use it very well versus those who are playing with it and can only use it just at the surface. That's the real competition, because AI is always going to be there as an enabler. There is nobody now that has a smartphone that does not have at least the minimum AI, which could be Meta on your WhatsApp. Most of them are using it for everything. And it's very important that we learn how to use it to solve problems, right? And accept it as a tool rather than as a competitor to humans. We will always move, we'll always be dynamic. Whenever I want to joke, I say to my friends that AI cannot love, right? AI cannot love, AI cannot express anger, AI cannot calm anger, right?
Yes.
Regardless of how you try to build it or the toys you try to build. So we must continue to capitalize on that and build our human intelligence towards that part, so that artificial intelligence plays its part and human intelligence plays its part.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir, on that. We know the importance of AI and the role it's playing, and also it comes with its own disadvantages. So we're going to look at the policies around AI and blockchain, with the way AI has been um, adopted by firms, individuals, and we see the risk associated with AI, deepfake, and all the rest of them. Um, what do you think? What's your take around policies that should be put in place to be able to protect people around AI, most especially, and some of
So,
the blockchain policies?
so there is no foolproof solution to this. Number one is literacy. Okay, so you mentioned deepfake. We need to sensitize users and continue to sensitize users on the need to validate. The way you authenticate when you want to use your bank app, that's how you now need to validate the authenticity of an AI tool when you are using one. And also when you are interacting with people, you need to learn. That's why knowledge is very important in this era. We're in the knowledge economy. So you need to learn how the different AI tools operate and how they can be exploited. So I will encourage every user to learn this. It's very important. But that being said, I mentioned earlier that we're all running now to put governance. We're all running now to protect data, apply consent management systems, and all that to the use of AI. That is because we all collectively agree that both the users and the recipients of AI deserve to be protected. So if you have your data there, today we have the Nigeria Data Protection Act, NDPA, which of course guides and stipulates how data should be managed, collected, used, discarded, everything, or stored. So we want to ensure that AI does not come to abuse that, right? And the whole development of our AI initiative factors in this protection. We want to ensure that we put in place one or two authentication to ensure that AI does not defraud people. Even in the development of platform, we're now seeing development of specific solutions to ensure that fraudsters do not develop bots that can run millions of transactions overnight, and the system will think it is a human being that is doing it. And by the time you wake up, there will be millions of transactions run on your system. It's not an individual, it's AI. It's a bot that has been developed to process transactions like they are individual transactions. So it's coming in different shapes and sizes. But most importantly, what you don't know, you cannot tackle. What you don't understand, you cannot arrest. So it's very important that we all learn how these tools work and we continue to learn It's not just about using it. Thank you.
Okay, so let's look at data protection. The recent CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria's directive on data management in Nigeria by fintechs and financial institutions hosting sensitive payment data in Nigeria locally. What's your take on that?
So I think this speaks particularly to data sovereignty, not just data protection. And Nigerian payment system or ecosystem is churning out. Every reasonable government or regulator will have to take proactive steps to protect that data and to ensure, because that time, as we are today in Nigeria, data is part of our national security element. If millions of data is compromised or payment data is compromised, it could jeopardize national security. It's not just only about financial services. We will not be the first to do it. There are many countries where this step have been taken even up to a decade now, right? So having to push for on-soil data residency, having to push for domestication of data is not new. And even in Nigeria, it's not new. From what I know, if you are a bank, you are a switch, you are required to process on soil, right? So it's a regulation that have been there. But of course, you know the way it is. When some of these things are passed, people don't unpack it carefully to know what has been existing and what has been added or subtracted. So it's been there. It's not a new thing. On-soil domestication is not new. However, now that it's been expanded to cover all the players in the industry, so it becomes a conversation that we all need to have. For me, I think it's a welcome development. I see a lot in the news around, this is going to chase cloud providers. It's not true. I think all this, what it calls for, is a re-architecting, remodeling of the entire data and cloud flow. You understand? It didn't say don't use it. It says put it here. Nigeria is a place, so anything can be remodeled, any flow can be redrafted to point here, and everything will be. It's a business decision, and you look at how much in billions we're spending on cloud as an industry or as an ecosystem. Every business and every provider will take reasonable steps to comply. So for us, it's part of the journey of our payment system vision and ensuring that the space is protected.
Thank you very much. In case you're just joining us, this is Coin News Extra TV, Stakeholders Inside series with Dr. Stanley Jacob, President Fintech Association of Nigeria, and Group Chief Innovation and Technology Officer, Meristem. We're almost done with the conversation. Talking about the data localization policy by the Central Bank of Nigeria, let's look at the local um, data centers, people that provide these cloud infrastructures, fintech, or maybe startups or companies. Do you think the infrastructures on ground are ready? Do you think these fintech or these startups or companies are ready, the local ones?
So let's take it from two aspects. You know, I mentioned that we've spent billions on cloud, on data, on infrastructure for this processing, and if you are a business and you're turning out billions, then it means that the business is a critical thing for you. So you make policies will always come. Banks go through changing regulations every month or every year, every 6 months, and they always change the business to comply. So that will not be different for a cloud service provider. However, on the other end is the cloud consumer or the infrastructure user, consumer of the infrastructure. That is where we have diverse players. You have the large corporations using this cloud, you have the medium, you have the startups. That's where the conversation comes. But if you're a provider, it becomes a competitive thing. Do I still want to be in this market? or do I want to leave? One way or the other, I can assure you that there will always be providers. It's a business thing. Nigeria is a lucrative market. Our economy is good for business, for those who are providing these things. So the conversation becomes the consumers. How can they pivot? How can they drive compliance to this change? For the big, large corporate, if you've made very huge investment in this, turning around the ship will cost you money. These are still business discussion, but compliance is important, right? If you're medium, same thing. If you're small, the question becomes, can we really accommodate the cost? How do we manage this? I'm also aware that even the global cloud providers are already having local data centers, right? I know players like Huawei have local data centers. I know also we have domestic Galaxy Backbone and a few of them having localized data centers that can do cloud. So it's now boils on the borders on the younger, smaller businesses to seek alternatives, right? I don't think it's a dead end, right? It's something, and there's time. If there's one thing we're good at adapting. We're good at turning the ship around to achieve the desired outcomes.
We are good at adapting it here in Nigeria. So lastly, sir, on your recent appointment at Meristem as the Group Chief Innovation and Technology Officer, what's your vision for Meristem in this role, and how do you plan to position the organization for the future of financial services, innovation, and wealth creation in Africa? Also, what excites you most about the future of Nigeria's fintech ecosystem over the next 5 years?
So at Meristem, two of our core values that I'll point out, there are others. One is clientocracy, and the other is Einstein. Those two, Einstein, right? Einstein. So those two, they speak to me every day. Clientocracy speaks to our client focus and client obsession uh, approach to business. And Einstein speaks to our love for innovation. So joining Meristem for me is a unique opportunity to be part of a change that is going to happen in this decade in the capital market space. When I speak to my friends and I speak to the ecosystem, one of the things I always share is to say that, look, guys, the payment space, the banking and payment space have been quite interesting in the last 10 years. Super interesting. The next excitement is moving to capital markets. And from the past last year, 1 year, you can see that a lot is happening in the capital market. But that's just the beginning. We are seeing a lot happening around emerging payments, emerging assets. Of course, you are an advocate of the stable coin and alternative currencies, right?
Yes.
And you're seeing what's happening there if you look at the data and the uptake, which is quite commendable. You're seeing that the regulator, whether it's the CBN, whether it's SEC, they're already putting in place policies to shape how we adopt and utilize these digital and emerging assets. It's unprecedented in our history when we look at 10 years back, and it only signals what is going to happen in this decade in the capital market. So being a part of this story is something that I'm super excited about. So at Meristem, from stockbroking, we have that leadership, to wealth management, to our trustees business, to our capital, where we're handling a lot of business partnerships in that space, to finance. Our family office is there for the ultra high net worth. And all these spaces, how do we power them with best in class technology? How do we become the first in almost everything? That is the goal. And we think that if we are able to achieve this, our vision, our objective and values will be well aligned in terms of clientocracy. We'll make the customers happy, and I think where we will lead with innovation. So it's a lot. It's a lot of work, believe me, because having been in the space, almost all aspects of financial services, whether it's microfinance, mobile money, payment, banking, tech, big tech, fintech, and now capital market, I can tell you that the capital market space is much more complex than when you look at banking in terms of digitization, because you have to deal with a lot of algorithms, how you're calculating valuation, interest, investments. It's a lot, and it's super exciting. Collectively, what it looks at for us, which is our whole existence, the reason why we exist as Meristem, is to advance your well-being, right? And we think that if you're a good investor, then you will live well, right? And that's where it speaks to well-being. So I'm super excited to be doing this, and I look forward to quite a lot that will happen, which I'm sure you will cover.
Yes.
Thank you.
We look forward to it. Thank you very much, sir. Do you have any closing remarks?
No, just to first comment Coin News Extra, the transformation, what you're doing in the digital space is quite commendable. We followed a lot your conferences on the digital currency annually, continues to build momentum. Now it's at an Africa scale. I continue to commend what you're doing. And just like I said, this space is for you, because that thing you've been advocating for, emerging assets, digital assets, it's now. So you should seize the occasion, and we're always here to collaborate as an industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the kind words. We really appreciate. And thank you, our viewers, for the time you spent watching. It has really been an amazing conversation with our guest, Dr. Stanley Jacob, President Fintech Association of Nigeria, and Group Chief Innovation and Technology Officer at Meristem. Thank you very much, sir, once again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. For our viewers,
Thank you.
we really appreciate your time watching us. So you can do well to download Coin News Extra TV app. We are available on Android. So you can go to Play Store and download it at CNA TV. It's the first and leading 247 live broadcasting watch to end TV on blockchain, AI, and fintech. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you once again. Thank you, sir. We look forward
Thank
to
you very
coming
much.
here again
Yeah.
to cover the much that you are doing at
Thank you.
Meristem.
Thank you.